Hi, I'm Terrence. Today I'm going to have a chat to you about SEO, or rather the basics of SEO. It's really the introductory video to my series. I'm going to be making videos on a regular basis, and today's video is the first of many. I've had lots of trouble trying to get videos working, so here we go. I have another go at this. But it's really a basic introduction for anyone who doesn't know anything at all about SEO. If you've been working on SEO for a while, if you know how to code sites in general, you've been working in the web space for a while, a lot of what I'm going to be covering might just be really boring, and you might just want to skip this video and move on to the other ones that I'd be producing. But if this is your absolute first time on SEO, then well, this is just the right one to get on. So what I'm going to cover today is just the real basic stuff. I'm going to talk about search engines in general. If you can't tell from the screen already, I'm going to be talking and using Google as the example. And just to cover how it works, talk about how it makes its decision on which sites to put on the first of a search result. How it ranks sites, basically how it knows which one's more important. Then of course we're just going to cover off just really high level broad strokes. How do you get websites onto the first page, or improve, rather more importantly, how do you improve the rankings of your site? So let's kick this off. I'm going to try to keep this video short. Google only lets you do, YouTube only lets you do 15 minutes at a go. So let's just see how much I can jam it into 15 minutes. So let's talk about a simplistic view of how, before we get there, let's just talk about how Google works, or what Google actually is. Now, I hope by now most people actually know how Google works, but I'm just going to cover it off for the newbies. So here we go. So let's say, and you'll notice I'm in Google Australia. That's mainly because I'm sitting in Australia right now. So I'm going to use this primarily as my example. The principles of what I'm talking about applies to whichever search engine you're roughly working with. So let's look at Google. The first thing I want to talk about is the search term. I'm going to use a search term. This is a search term. I'm going to use immigration agency. All right, so that's a search that I'm going to use. Now, ignore what you just saw there. This here is what a user might type into Google to find something, and that's what I'm going to refer to as a search term from here on in. Now, if you hit a search on this, what you're going to get is the results. These here are the search engine results, right? Now, what I'm going to show you is the difference between what paid and organic is. So with search engines, you can actually get onto this page, right, on this search, two ways. Option A is you can pay for an ad. So that's that here. See, it's really subtle. It's an ad. Same with this here, ads. The idea is quite simple. They've got a program called AdWords. You can pay Google for a certain amount of clicks, and each time somebody clicks on one of them, you get charged X amount of dollars, and your site would appear here for that service. So that's roughly how this advertising service here works. And it's an option available to any website, or almost any website. There are a few policies and guidelines you need to sort of follow, but roughly you can just get your site up here pretty quickly. That's not what we're interested in. What I'm talking about is getting your website into this space here, this white space, not this little pink space. I'm not sure what it'll show up on the video later on, because it looks pink to me, but I've did a couple of recordings before and it comes up yellow for some reason. That's not important. The important thing is this block here. That's where we want to get your site, right? Now, I'm not going to break this page down because it's changed a lot since we started working on optimizing many years ago. It's gotten a lot more complicated, and I'm not going to talk about it because by the time you view this video, rules may have changed even more. The important thing is just to understand, we're talking about organically getting your website over here. So in order for me to talk about how we get websites up here, so if you want to find out, why is this website, alfieagency.com.au, why is that, in the top position when there's 36 million results out there? What makes this website or web page so special that it should turn up on position 1? Before I go and answer that specific question, I need you to understand how search engines work. Search engines work. There is a huge index of pages that are kept, like a huge giant database that Google's got, if you can imagine, that's got pretty much every single page on it. It's in the billions and billions of pages of the web that it has got on its index. And to get onto this index, it basically sends a crawler. It's a program that goes from website to website and scrapes all the information about that site and shoves it into its database or its index. And it's that process of gathering the site and putting it into the its index, which is how it ends up here. While it does that, while it's putting it into the index, it is also looking at prioritizing which is more important on which search. So if we looked at, say, if we looked at this page, for example, so let's just pretend for the very first time ever, Google's just starting, this is day 0 that Google's being launched. It starts off, and let's say for some reason, the guys who are running Google said, look, let's start at Alfie's agency or alfieagency.com.au, and we're going to start crawling the web from here. What it does is the Google bot starts on this page. It reads everything on this page, all the actual text on it. It doesn't actually read the text in terms of, it doesn't read it like this. It reads the HTML behind it. Now, if you don't know HTML, look, it's not that you need to be an expert, but knowing some HTML is going to be important for you to be able to optimize sites. So you can right-click using just about any browser. I'm using Chrome. If you right-click on it, you can use View Page Source, which will show you the HTML that basically makes up this page. So in HTML code, that's what it looks like, and it renders, the browser renders it to look like this. So let's say Googlebot hits this page. It takes this page, grabs all the information it can read on here in a text form, or rather all the HTML it can read. It grabs that information, does some analysis on it, and then stores it in the index. Then after that, it picks one of the links on this page, and there are plenty of links on this page. Here's one, the contact us page. It is going to Alfie Agency. If you can look on the bottom left, you'll see it. These are all links that are going to different locations. So it'll pick 1, 2, or all of the links, and it'll follow that link to go to that page. So it's discovered a new page to get to. So it's discovered, say, this useful links page. It'll follow, not click on the link, it'll follow that link across to this page. And then again, it might grab all this information, store it within its index, and then it'll follow another one of the links. And in this case, it might say, for example, follow this link, which is Department of Immigration and Citizenship. So I'm just going to open that into a new tab to give you an example how, in this example here, it got to imi.gov.au. So it started from the home page, it went to useful links, for example, then it might go to, say, imi.gov.au, and it does this all day long, 24 hours a day, with tons and tons of servers actually doing this. All it's doing is crawling through the web and grabbing this information. Then what happens is you come along and you do a search. So you say, okay, well, I'm going to go to Google, and I search for, say, what was it again? It was Immigration Agency, Agency. And it comes to this page. So when it gets this request, the search engine then says, all right, I'm going to look through my entire index, and I'm going to find a page that matches this search. So what it's going to do is it's going to look through this huge index of data that it's got. It's going to look for pages which has had HTML, right? So there's two things it's going to do. First, it's going to look for pages which has in the HTML, the word or the usage of the word immigration agency. Now that's not always going to be the exact case. So it's a somewhat sort of fuzzy search. It's not necessarily an exact search, but when you've got, say, 36 million pages to pick from, chances are you're going to find a page that actually has the word immigration agency in. Now if you think about it, it's quite logical. What they're trying to do is just show a page that's most relevant to immigration agency. In this case, to start with, find pages that has the word immigration agency in it. It's a fair call. In fact, this page has it has 7 instances of the word immigration agency on it. So this page has actually got a fair bit of text on it. I'm just going to put it into a new tab. A fair bit of text on it that actually has a immigration agency. In fact, you can read it here. 1, 2, 3, and there's probably more. If I just keep going in here, there'll be 1 or 2 more. There's some in the code as well. So on one hand, Google looks for pages that actually has relevant content. When I use the word content, it's anything that starts from this top left and goes to the bottom right here. Anything that's got relevant content to the word or to the search term immigration agency, right? Now, if you can imagine, with 36 million pages, a lot of them are going to have the word immigration agency. If I go through this list here, I can guarantee you on this first page, there's a strong chance that these pages all also have the word immigration agency on it. I'm not actually going to do it because I might have to eat humble pie. One of them might not actually have it. But let's assume that they all have, with 36 million pages, let's assume they all have immigration agency on there. The other thing that, how does it know which page to show first if they all have immigration agency on them? Now, I'm oversimplifying this, but in principle, there are links going into it. Just like we had a link that went from Alfie Agency out to the Department of Immigration, well, there's a strong likelihood that there's another site out there that has a link going into alfieagency.com.au. So if I sort of draw a real rough high-level diagram, right? So here's Alfie's agency, all right? A for Alfie's agency, and it's linking off to the immigration website, right? Just like we've got this scenario, we've got other sites, you gotta love this, that links to Alfie's site. And chances are, right, so this is site X, this is site Y, and Z. You get the picture anyway. The sites that links back into Alfie. So the point I'm trying to make is that the chances are that the combination of the content on the page, so the combination of this content as well as the links that are going into it, is what's making it go up here. Now, I just said it's the combination. I didn't say that it's because this page had 50 uses of the word immigration agency, so you use that 50 times in the text, and that it had 50,000 links, and that one only had 20,000 links and had 25 uses of the word immigration agency. I did not say that. What I did say is the combination of the profile, the overall profile had sufficient reason to justify a first position. So I've got another minute left to go on this, so I'm going to keep this quite short. Effectively, you've got all the stuff that, in order to rank your site, you can alter your site to increase your relevance to, say, immigration agency, and that process is called on-page optimization. So on-page optimization is things that you can do to your site on the page. Off-page optimization are all the things you would do outside of your site, which might mean, say, linking from other websites to your websites, getting links from there. Now, I've got a few seconds left to go. I'm not telling you to go out there and get 1,000 links, and I'm not asking you to spam keywords on your page. What I'm asking you to do is have a look at the other videos. I'll show you a bit more. But I'm just giving the broad stroke on how sites get ranked. The final thing I just want to let you know is that I'm going to be doing this quite regularly. I'm going to be doing videos after videos. So if you've got any questions to ask me, why don't you pop it onto an email. I'll try to answer them in the videos as I go through. My email, I've set up one for this, will be mastermind@messageforce.com. So pop me an email at mastermind@messageforce.com. I'm Terrence, and I will read through them, and if I get any interesting sort of topics that I think everyone can benefit from, I'll share them.